Hello, good morning everyone. It's Friday, October 2 here in Manila. I'm Karen Davila giving you the head start for this very rainy morning. We have two guests for Hot Copy today. We'll be talking about the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act. First, we have Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza, who interpolated on this bill and is very passionate about it, and former Customs Chief Ruffy Biazon. When he was Customs Chief, he first advocated the passage of the Customs Modernization Tariff Act. What does it mean to us? Will it change things in customs? Will there be lesser smuggling activities with this act? Tweet your questions. First, the headlines this morning.
Yung kasayahan, bahagi na ng politika, hindi ng politika, ng ating kultura. Pero yan, kung masagwa yan, ipapatigil natin dahil hindi naman tama.
Tinatanong pagka-performance, George, kung ito si Vice President Bilan. Pag sinabi, anong performance ni Vice President George? Opisina ng Vice President, wala na akong trabaho. Under dilo, wala akong trabaho.
Today's big stories: Tropical Storm Kabayan brings continuous rains in Metro Manila and Central Luzon. An Abu Sayyaf commander has been identified as one of the kidnappers of 3 foreigners and a Filipina in Samal Island. The navigation app Reyes tags traffic in Metro Manila as the worst in the world. And Gilas Pilipinas advances to the FIBA Asia semifinals and moves closer to nabbing a stop in the Rio Olympics. Tropical Storm Kabayan continues to bring heavy rains over Metro Manila, Central Luzon, and Western Visayas. 9 areas are under signal number 2, while signal number 1 is up in 12 places. Moderate to occasional heavy rains are expected in Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas. All classes have been suspended in Metro Manila, Cavite, Bataan, and Nueva Ecija. Now let's get the latest on Tropical Storm Kabayan from Pag-asa weather forecaster Alzar Aurelio. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning to you, Miss Karen, and to all of you.
All right, nasa na po si Kabayan ngayon?
Well, as of 7 o'clock in the morning, the center of Tropical Storm Kabayan was in the vicinity of Villages, Pangasinan, and it maintains it has maintained maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 80 kilometers per hour.
So, in other words, although it is now a tropical storm, it's slowly moving out of the country. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's moved faster at 20 kilometers per hour, and we are expected to exit the PAR or Philippine Area of Responsibility tomorrow early morning.
So, how long will we be experiencing rains like this? I mean, we've experienced flash flooding last night.
We're expecting full day today, such as in Metro Manila, because of this Tropical Storm Kabayan, and we're expecting to expecting improved weather tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning. Metro Manila will have generally fair weather,
okay,
or good weather.
So just Metro Manila, is it presently under signal number 1?
Yes, ma'am. As of now, we under signal number 1. It means we will experience rains and gusty winds.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, Alzar Aurelio. Thank you, sir. Now, the Reyes brothers are set to be arraigned in Palawan today for murder. Lynette de la Cruz is on the line with the details.
Karen, kakarating lang ng magkapatid na Marjo at Joel Reyes dito sa Puerto Princesa City Justice Hall sakay ng isang puting van para nga rito sa kanilang nakataktang arraignment. Naka-convoy sa kanila itong mga pulis at talagang napakahigpit ng seguridad sa ngayon. Pagbaba nila kanina ay parehong nakaposas at nakasuot ng dilaw na damit na uniforme sa Puerto Princesa City Jail itong dalawa. At pati yung media ay hindi muna pinapayagan na makapasok doon sa RTC Branch 52 kung saan mabilis silang ipinasok doon kanina. Nakatakdang maghain ng not guilty plea itong magkapatid na Reyes. At nandito na rin ang presensya ng kapatid ng pinasang na broadcaster na si Dr. Jerry. At yung nga lang wala pa itong may bahay na si Dr. Patty Ortega at ang kanyang mga anak. Anumang oras ay sisimula na itong arraignment at hindi pa tiyak kung anong oras ito matatapos. Karen?
All right, thank you very much. Now, one of the abductors of 3 foreigners and a Filipina in Samal Island has already been identified by authorities. Meanwhile, the family of one of the victims appeals for help from President Aquino. Ernel Tocmo reports.
The Moro National Liberation Front says they are familiar with the location where the 4 kidnapped victims from Samal Island were brought. The victims, 3 foreigners and a Filipina, were abducted from a resort in Samal Island in Davao del Norte last September 21st.
Through information,
The MNLF says the kidnapping was carried out by an Abu Sayyaf commander, identified as a certain Mahmoud Askali. The MNLF adds the victims are now in Sulu, and they are being moved around to avoid detection. The relatives of the Filipina kidnapped victim have called on President Aquino to use all means necessary to safely rescue the victims. Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, who has asked the MNLF to help secure kidnapped victims, says they have not received any information of a ransom demand.
Akin naman sana, if it is for ransom or whatever, that it could be done in the earliest possible time. Hindi man natin kontrolado kung anong motivations. But I would be very happy if the hostages are released soonest.
Meanwhile, Malacanang says authorities are relentlessly pursuing those behind the Samal abduction while ensuring the safe return of the captives to their families. The palace also maintains, despite the incident, the country is safe for tourists. Ernel Tocmo, ABS-CBN News.
On Hot Copy this morning, we've been long and waiting. The Customs Modernization and Tariff Act has been approved on second reading at the House of Representatives. But it may take a while before the reforms in the Customs Bureau are implemented. Take a look at how it's bound to make a difference.
The Joint Foreign Chambers reiterates its recommendation to Congress to pass the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act. The group says the country must modernize its customs administration to keep up with changing international standards as the ASEAN Economic Community comes into effect by year end, and to make inspection procedures more transparent. Among the bill's proposed reforms is the removal of the current de minimis of 10 centavos, which has remained unchanged since 1957. The Philippine de minimis is currently the smallest in ASEAN. The Senate bill is still being deliberated by the Ways and Means Committee.
All right, joining us in the studio, we have former Customs Chief Ruffy Biazon, who advocated for the passage of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act when he was Customs Chief, and Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza, who's interpolated for many changes in the first version of the bill. Welcome to Hot Copy. Ruffy, thank you for coming. Congressman Atienza, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming, Congressman Lito. First, what is the status of the bill? Let's start with you. Where is it now?
It's now on due for third reading, final third reading, because it passed already the second reading, where the interpellations, the debate, the discussions, the amendments were put into place.
Okay.
Kaya parang final na ito. And all it takes now is final approval in third reading, and then it proceeds to the Senate for the bicameral
So, Ruffy,
discussion.
before I go to you, I'm going to ask for updates with Congressman Atienza. There have been many changes since the first version, and you've introduced much of the changes. You've interpolated for many of them.
One of the major changes that we were able to put into the law is the advanced clearance system for all containerized cargoes.
Advanced clearance system.
Yes, from
Oh.
port of origin.
Okay, parang pre-shipment.
Yes, kasi
Pre-shipment test.
doon ang gagaling yung problema eh.
Oo.
Pagdating dito ng 4,000 or so cargo vans, eh, doon pa lamang i-inspeksyonin. Eh, andyan ang gagaling ang problema. Smuggling is rampant. And the biggest problem really being brought in by this system is the drugs importation. Lumala ang problema natin sa droga, and according to the experts, including the former commissioner himself, and he noted na talagang dito nagmumula yung ating mga droga na kumakalat sa bansa. No less than PIDEA also testified, drugs are being imported through the cargo vans. 4,000 yung vans dumarating araw-araw. Hindi naman na-inspection lahat yan. Only 8% are being inspected. And therefore, ang daming lumulusot ng mga kontrabando, mga luxury items na hindi nabubwisan, and worse, drugs. So we feel that with the advanced inspection to be done in the ports of origin, mami-minimize na yan.
And an advanced inspection will be, you'd have to hire a private company.
Yes,
the Philippine government will have to contract a private company.
No, the Philippine government can sign agreements to certain accredited, creditable, credible, and experienced worldwide operating companies specializing in this.
Okay.
And Commissioner Biazon, I'm sure, is more familiar with it.
So, Ruffy, when you were customs chief, you advocated for this, and yet it's been many years before it was even tackled in Congress, before changes or the openness for changes were even made possible. What were the struggles then? And will the advanced shipment or pre-shipment inspection make a difference based on your experience?
Yes, I came in as Customs Commissioner, previously serving as a legislator. So when I took a look at the problems in Customs, I saw that legislation was one of the solutions. Specifically, the passage of the Customs Modernization Bill. The proposed bill basically reorganizes the structure, not the structure, the policy and law that covers customs, because it's the present system, the present law, which enables all of these graft and corruption, smuggling.
How does the present law enable?
Well, one, it's outdated.
Okay.
And the environment that it provides is conducive to connivance between corrupt officials and, of course, traders. Because the situation is you have two forces facing each other. One with an urgent need to get their goods through at the least amount of time and least cost, supposedly. And you have a customs organization empowered with a lot of authority and rules, technicalities that they can use to block a shipment. So that creates the environment that is conducive to connivance. So the direction around the world really is converting customs from an authoritative figure like it is now into a trade facilitation agency. Making business easier.
Yeah.
But putting in certain controls.
So will this work? What Congressman Atienza advocated, to actually have pre-shipment inspection or advanced cargo inspection?
Yes, advanced clearance is one of the best practices in other customs administrations around the world.
It's being done already
all over the world.
Yes.
Kaya yung atin, yung sinasabi ni Commissioner, outmoded na yun eh. Yung
Nandito pa, tas
doon na
in-X-ray.
pag-usapan, may negotiation yan, may haggling yan. Kaya nga 8% lang ang nai-inspect. Yung iba talagang literally libre na yan, pumapasok na yan. Di ba, one time nawalan tayo ng 2,000 container vans.
You never found that.
That was not your time, right?
Yeah.
That was after you.
No, that was before me.
Before you.
Before him.
But you never found that either.
We had, yes, it was
never.
already investigated by the NBI and other investigating agencies. But to trace the container, the contents of the container, hindi na nangyari. Siyempre, mabilis yan.
Yung contents, hindi natin alam.
Yeah,
Ano yun?
yeah.
Droga ba yun?
Yeah.
Or the luxury good?
Or rice, or whatever.
Whatever. Or contraband, arms, bullets, whatever. Kaya
It's a very good point.
mahirap yung hindi alam ng gobyerno ang dumarating.
Oh, I want to ask you, when you were customs chief, take us through one struggle you had.
One is passage of the bill.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Sa akin, foundation
Why?
kasi ng
You tell
reform
us,
yun.
why was it so hard during your
Well,
time?
legislation, of course, is a long process. And convincing...
But there was resistance.
Especially when
There's
there's
some
massive
resistance.
corruption.
Yeah. When
No,
there's
no less
yeah.
than President Aquino, in his State of the Nation address, stressed on that. Sabi niya, we are losing 200 billion pesos. That's a very, very conservative estimate of what's being lost.
Yeah.
But he said it. I challenged Congress, do something about it. 200 billion is being lost
Yeah.
in smuggling.
Yeah. So then, during your time, why was
Yeah,
it?
because anybody doing genuine reform in customs is bound to face opposition.
Yeah.
Kasi marami nakikinabang no? People from outside, people from inside, no? So pagka ikaw gagawa ka ng tama, mayroong babakbak sa iyo. So that's one major challenge, no? And of course, yung sinabi ko, yung passage ng bill. Pero yung kasi yung pinaka-foundation na kailangan natin gawin para mabago lahat ito. Changing people there will not result in long-term results for reform.
Yeah.
You have to change the basic foundation in the law.
And Karen, just to show you the resistance of even in Congress, the final version of
Even
this
in
law,
Congress, may resistance. Oh my
wala yung
God.
provision on advance clearance.
Wala.
Pinasok lang namin na after a lengthy debate.
You were the one
I
who said,
insisted.
yeah, you insisted.
Sabi ko nga, and I was citing also the letters of Commissioner Biazon, and he was commissioner. He was practically begging for this. Commissioner Sevilla was begging for it. And now, how come in the final version, I don't see it? So, dun na pumayag naman yung majority nung
Now,
pasok natin.
isn't this similar to SGS?
Parang ganun.
Okay, what happened there? We
That's
had SGS
pre-shipment
before.
inspection.
Iba yun.
Yeah,
Can you
iba
talk
pa yun,
about the
no?
difference? Oh,
Yung-
an SGS is pre-shipment inspection.
Yes, pre-shipment inspection is you do inspections at the port of origin.
Okay.
A third party will certify as to the contents,
Yun ang
the
gusto ni
declaration.
Senator Alan Cayetano.
Yes. Advanced clearance
Iba
pertains
to.
to some process in customs. It's a customs process where you initiate o sisimulan mo na yung
This is
proseso ng
harder.
clearance doon sa bago pa dumating yung shipment. Okay, so meron yung pre-shipment inspection pa yun. no?
Iba pa yun, I
Certification.
see.
Nagkaroon ng serious,
Wait, but I didn't know it's different.
nagkaroon ng serious objection yung WTO dun sa SGS operations doon because nagkaroon ng tariff classification function which also is not really ideal. Sila na naglalagay ng classification ng tariff.
I
rate.
see. So it gave them
Wala
Dapat
ngayon
yun,
yun.
ano lang
It gave them power.
Certification lang kung ano ang contents, not the
content.
tariff classification.
Yeah. So-
That's the job of customs.
Yeah. Now with the advanced clearance inspection, that's the right term now.
right.
What is the difference? What will happen?
Walang tariff classification.
There's none.
Only the contents, the quality, the quantity, contraband, the banned items should not be detected there. Yung drug importation primarily.
And let's
will be
say
collected.
there is something contraband that goes through the advanced clearance inspection. Who's to answer for it?
Hindi lulusot dun sa clearance Hindi lulusot sa advanced clearance. Makikita nila may
It's
shabu.
all X-rayed.
Oo.
Anong
Well,
system?
ang X-ray kasi is hindi talaga 100%. That's one. Kasi ang peg talaga ng modern customs administration is founded on risk management.
Okay.
No? So when you say risk management, you don't treat all shipments as suspect. No? So meron kang parang in a way parang profiling. You profile shipments kung mag-fall ba siya into high risk or low risk. So gaya nito, meron kaming program na sinimulan noon, yung Authorized Economic Operator. Yun, makaka-avail sila ng advanced clearance. Kasi trusted sila. No, based on certain criteria that they can comply with, they can fall under the category of an Authorized Economic Operator. They can avail of a privilege ng advanced clearance. No? Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na kailangan hintayin dumating yung shipment dito before you start the process of clearing them.
Saka ito, Karen, under the new law, the payment for the inspection will not be shouldered by the government. So at no expense of the government.
Who's going to be
The
shouldering it?
importer.
Yeah.
Because he will get privileges and special lanes when his van arrives here. So bibigyan siya ng priority. Na-clear na yung kanyang cargo van eh. Kaya less time, less expenses, less negotiation.
And this is what's done all over the world.
Yes.
And will it help the port situation? I mean, in the
Definitely.
congestion at the port?
Definitely. Because
You know, one of the reasons why nagkaroon ng congestion sa port is everything is processed pagdating dito.
Yun.
Pag nag-issue ng alert order yan, no? Pag hindi na-process ng mabilis yung alert, it results in congestion.
Yeah.
No? Kaya nga, ano yan eh, balancing act ng customs yan. Tatlong function yun eh. Border security, no? Revenue collection, and trade facilitation.
Okay.
And sometimes nagbabanggaan
I
yan.
want to ask you very quickly, and then Congressman will answer if they're going to resolve it. Name me the biggest issues when it comes into customs or the challenges. And he'll say if this bill answers those that you've experienced.
Was the tedious process of
Like
importation.
the TARA system, I want
Yeah,
to ask
that's a result of the system.
That's a result, okay.
Kasi nga, pagka ang negosyante, nakaharap ng mahirap na sitwasyon, kasi nga, ang urgent need niya to
The
get
release.
his goods through in the least amount of time, least cost. Ito namang nasa customs, may power. So, ang nangyayari dyan, dahil yung proseso is provided by the current system, nagiging vulnerable ngayon, no?
Yeah.
Isang technicality lang na iharap sa trader, ano na yung motivation na yon for the businessman to say, ito na lang nga para sa iyo.
Tapos na.
And sometimes inuunahan na.
Ano yun, 100,000 o 200,000 during their time? What was it?
Well, it can rise up to the millions. So depende rin siguro yan sa sa type ng shipment that you have, how valuable to you the
pag
shipment
droga yun.
is.
Oo nga, yun.
Ganon yan.
Okay. Now, based on your experience, Commissioner, drugs, because ang sinasabi ngayon ni Customs Chief Bert Lina, when he became quite unpopular with the inspection of the balikbayan boxes, he says that drugs can get in the balikbayan boxes. Do you believe that to be true?
Well, sa experience namin, we've caught drugs sa container vans. No? In fact, meron kaming huli nga nun, parang drug franchise ang tawag namin. Kasi 4 container vans, ang laman niya lahat, paraphernalia, equipment, enough to start up your own drug laboratory.
Oh my
May
God.
huli kaming ganun.
Factory na yan.
Oo. But
Ang
would they be in balikbayan boxes inside the van?
No, it's a container van
Talagang,
mismo.
ganun yan. When you
ganun
open
lang
the
siya.
container van,
Misdeclared lang siya. Pero ang isang namin, major namin na haul dyan, are drug mules sa airports. In fact, in 2012, we caught up to about ₱500 million worth ng drugs carried by passengers.
Wow.
Tapos yung incidents, talagang iba-ibang klaseng techniques. No? Meron pa doon nag-pose as husband and wife, hindi naman sila magkakilala.
Oo.
Pero yun, malaking danger din yun, yung going through the airports.
Yeah.
Balikbayan boxes, we have, nung time ko, wala akong nakuhang huli na drugs, but firearms, yan, marami kami.
In the
nahuli.
balikbayan boxes.
Yes.
So,
Pero can you imagine?
first, a question. Does this bill answer, Congressman, the problem with airports, with drug mules?
Also.
How does it make it faster if it's a
Palagay
passenger?
ko hindi na masyado because that already concerns the personnel or actual personnel inspection or rather watching the airport.
No, but what about equipment? Walang equipment factory.
Meron din.
Okay.
Meron ng mga modern equipment kasali rito. So, going back to the balikbayan box.
Yeah.
Doon kami hindi makapaniwala na sisisihin natin yung balikbayan box. Yung cargo vans, 4,000 are coming in every day. We don't know what they're containing. Rather than pag-initan yung balikbayan box.
Yeah, pero paano? May firearms daw.
Well, yun nga. Dapat naman talaga i-monitor
Pero gaya
lang.
niyan, Karen, dyan papasok yung risk management. For example, balikbayan boxes, kung firearms ang pinag-uusapan or probably even drugs, low risk ang mga balikbayan boxes coming from the Middle East.
That's the word, low risk.
From the Middle East.
Yeah,
That's a good
Middle East.
one. Oh.
Kasi
doon pa
una-una
lang
yung
bawal
source,
pa.
yung
Oo,
source
ang
doon.
higpit na nun.
Putol ulo mo doon.
Oo, tama. Good point,
Diba?
good point.
Ang
Asan
medyo
ang high
masasabi
risk?
natin na high risk, for example, for firearms or probably even drugs, United States.
Tama. Balikbayan boxes coming from the
Yung mga
US.
huli namin na firearms, United States. Kasi ang
doon kasi
access
nabibili rin ang
Yeah.
firearms sa I mean, sorry,
Over the
but
counter.
yeah,
sa
over the counter.
supermarket pa. Ayun,
Yeah,
naman
yeah.
yung mga...
What's it, Walmart, Kmart,
yeah,
one of
mga
those.
ganon.
Yeah,
You
one of
can
those,
buy
yeah.
firearms there, no?
That's a
Easy
good
access
point.
to the supply.
So
no?
it's risk management.
Risk management. Ang principle, ang modern customs administration is based on risk management, post-audit controls, no? And automation. Yan ang modern customs. And that's what the bill is trying to
Oo.
push.
What about automation? Does this
Kasama rin
bill
yan.
answer? How? How? What will change?
They will have to modernize now the equipment being used at the piers, at the airports, and everything.
Oo.
Ang objective mo sa automation is to reduce human intervention.
Yeah. So how much is budgeted for automation expenses, Congressman?
Kasama na ngayon sa budget dito
Yeah.
sa 2016. I have no...
Yeah.
But doon sa bill wala pang
Wala.
specific
Okay.
amount. Kasi
Oo.
ang doon, dadaan pa siya sa general appropriations.
Okay.
diba? It's isa yan sa mga ideas na meron tayong nakuha from other countries. What they do in other countries, instead of customs annually going to Congress to ask for money, ginagawa, nagsaset aside ng certain percentage of collections for use by their customs
Tama yun.
authority.
Oo.
Kumbaga, built-in na siya na kung mas mataas ang collection
Ang
ko
revenue,
ngayon, mas
pupunta
mataas
sa
ang percentage
customs.
for modernization, for upgrade, for personnel benefits. Ganun ang ginagawa sa ibang
That's a
bansa.
good point.
That's why we really
Wait,
have
you
to
mean
study
say
what's
pag
going
mas-
on in the world.
This is good, Well, let's say, based on customs revenues, the agency gets a percentage.
Yes.
And then it will partly go to personnel. That's how it's done in other countries.
Yeah, you can use it for personnel. Specify mo kung
But
saan nila
is that
pwede gamitin.
tackled there?
Dito hindi kasali.
Sayang
That's
yun.
another
Sayang yun.
aspect where we would like to work on.
Yeah, Congressman.
Yung
Hindi pwede
salary
idagdag yun.
standardization and pwede pang siguro.
you know,
No,
ang
but based
problem
on,
natin,
based on
may-
revenue collection, part of it, a certain percentage goes to the
Well,
agency and
I'll look into
personnel.
that. Magandang
Who
mechanics yun.
practices that? What
I
country?
can't recall which country, but kasi there's a World Customs Organization.
Yeah.
It's like a United Nations of
For-
Customs.
oo.
And I attended sessions there. Doon mo makikita yung best practices. Kasi yun nga ang purpose actually ng organization na yun eh. So, ang naging problema natin dito sa Pilipinas, the way we view the problems of customs, medyo masyadong parochial.
Oo.
We're not looking at it from the bigger perspective. Like, yung last hearing na na-attend ko sa Senate, ang focus was amending the law for the OFWs. No? Issue ng
That's so
balikbayan box.
true, yeah.
Totoo naman,
Yeah, but,
tama
yeah.
naman yun. Pero
Oo.
like for example,
But-
yung usapan
but
about...
It's myopic. I agree. Oh, yeah.
And there's a bigger picture.
Oo,
no?
tama.
Yung increasing the de minimis value, tinitingnan lang natin kasi from the point, right now, tinitingnan natin from the point of view of the balikbayan box issue. Pero actually, that's a bigger issue, yung
Pero yung
de
balikbayan
minimis
issue
value.
naman, Commissioner,
Trade na yun,
kaya
foreign
pumutok
trade.
yun dahil naman yung effort ni Commissioner Lina, bulat-latin yung mga doon nagmula yun. Kaya nagkaroon ng congressional, nagkaroon ng Senate hearing.
Yes, yes.
Because we cannot
But I
allow
think
that.
the bigger issue...
The problem is in the container vans, not in the balikbayan
Yes,
boxes.
yes. The bigger issue, though, is the likes of Virgie Torres going to
tinan mo yun,
customs. So I
tinan
want to
mo yun.
ask you, Rufi, during your time, is that normal?
Well, it's not. I won't describe it as normal, no. Pero even before I came in, I'm very sure it has been happening. Kasi
Pero
ang dami nga interest sa customs.
sa'yo na
eh.
lang, merong mga senador noon, congressman, let's face it, tumatawag sa'yo.
Well, I simply said no. No?
Because you know, di ba,
Yeah, meron ako isang case noon, hinuli namin dahil smuggled fuel yung
laman.
nahuli.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
And ganun din, may nag-i-inquire as to the status, but you know kung kumbaga, instead of leaving customs to do its job, no? Mararamdaman mo, may parang intervention. No? I just said no.
Okay.
To give you a
Kaya
better-
you will earn a lot of enemies pag nandun ka.
To give you a better idea of how smuggling is being done, agricultural products are being smuggled.
Yeah, yeah.
Di ba yun nga, asukal, sa Torres
Yes,
case,
yes.
sibuyas, bawang.
Kami noon, shiploads of rice ang nahuhuli namin.
Can you
And
imagine?
what did you get? Congressional inquiry. Parang iniimbestigahan bakit namin hinuli.
That's true. No, that's quite interesting. How sometimes it goes on the reverse.
No,
Yeah.
the problem of
But is it
corruption.
right? Yeah, but is it right to say, just to be fair, that most smuggled container vans or misdeclared container vans, be honest, meron siyang padrino na politiko?
Meron din, I can't pinpoint, no? Pero meron yan. May padrino,
Of
whether
course.
politiko or non-politiko.
May
meron.
padrinong nagbibigay ng pera, whether politiko or negosyante, may nagbibigay ng pera. But the beauty about this new version now, the federations, the associations, the importers are all welcoming it. You know why? Because sila rin makakasave eh. Yun yung kinikwento ni Commissioner Biazon eh. Mahirap yung they're at the total mercy of customs warlords.
Yeah.
Eh, establish yung mga yan eh. Hindi ka naman lulusot kung hindi ka magbibigay. Pero sabi nga nila, with this improvement, they now have a protection of law. They can always say, cleared kami, oh. Wala namang ano, siguro minimal na lang, tip na lang. Hindi na yung tara.
Or what's even harder is, okay, when we get back, I'm going to ask you what happens to actually confiscated goods. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue our discussion with former Customs Chief Ruffy Biazon and Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Stay with us.
Take control of your life and start the journey to a healthier and more positive you. Experience over 70 exhibitors of healthy food products such as healthy ice cream, healthy chocolates, cold-pressed juice, free-range and grass-fed meat, duck and poultry, organic fruits and vegetables, and a host of healing modalities like Ayurveda, anger management, detox, hilot, and many more. Participate in lectures and engaging activities. Join us at the Health and Wellness Fair at the Rockwell Tent on October 2, 3, and 4.
Sometimes I would know if he was not happy. Other times the look into his eyes, he showed so many different things. It's a feeling and an emotion that nobody else could understand unless they were there and a part of it. For me, it was a love and an appreciation for what I believed he was brought here for us for a purpose.
All right, welcome back to Hot Copy. Still with us is former Customs Chief Ruffy Biazon and Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. All right, we had graphics a few days ago. I think oil smuggling is estimated at 30 billion, agricultural smuggling at 200 billion, and there's another one I'm trying to remember, but it was brought here to the studio. My question is, The biggest forms of smuggling would it be rice, based on your personal experience?
Well, we had a lot of seizures ng rice, no? By the boatloads nga hinuhuli namin nun eh. Like one time, the biggest haul was 428,000 sacks, no, in one shipment.
And it's
So,
usually misdeclared.
Yes, misdeclared. Yung iba naman at walang import permit, no? Agricultural products, yes, because there's a demand, no? Malaki yung demand, tapos yung local supply is not able to give to the demand, no? Kaya merong ganun na nagpaparating. But of course, hindi mo ma-pinpoint kung ano ang pinaka madalas, no? Kasi iba-ibang products talaga eh. May nahuhuli kami mga cars, may nahuhuli goods, iba-iba eh.
But to me, the biggest problem caused by all of this smuggling, yun, pagpasok ng drugs. Our country now is flooded with drugs all over.
True, no?
Siguro 90% of barangays are all infested now with drugs.
Tsaka bumaba yung presyo eh.
At bumaba ang presyo.
There's an oversupply.
Not just to show you that it's flooded. And we have to put a stop to this. It's destroying the foundations of our society. The children are victims. Pati tatay pumapatay ng anak. Drug-related yun. Pumapatay ng asawa.
At ang drugs, container vans yun usually.
Well, under the old system, pwedeng lumusot. Sabi nga nila, how do you correct that? Well, this is one of those measures that could correct.
Walang drugs sa balikbayan box?
You know, sa amin as experience, the biggest threat there is drug mules.
Drug mules.
It's easier. Kaysa yung actually yung container vans, meron sigurong here and there, pero mas bigger threat.
Well, Commissioner, here and there, but you already caught a factory, sabi mo.
Yes, correct. But that's right. That's right.
What else are you waiting for?
Pero yung continuous, I mean, in 1 week dati, nakakahuli kami up to about 5 drug mules in 1 week. And each one carrying about 8 to 10 kilos of drugs. Imagine yung nahuli natin na kababayan sa Indonesia. That was about 4 kilos. Ito pumapasok dito. 8 to 10 kilos. Yes.
No, actually, there's a whole show on National Geographic already, all on drug mules. The experience of being caught and trying to evade airport authorities.
May nahuli rin tayong Indonesia, no? Back in 2012. About 8 kilos yung nahuli sa kanya. Ito nga
Of what?
Of cocaine.
Cocaine,
So ito, meron tayong nahuling kababayan. Actually, pwede pa nga natin sana i-switch yan. Yung prisoner swap.
Yeah.
Diba?
Okay. All right. Now, here are the graphics I want to show you that we had. These are estimates on smuggling. The one on the right side of the screen, no? Because this was used for the argument on tax reform. So, smuggling of oil is at 30 billion estimated, tobacco 12 billion, agriculture at 230 billion. So, Congressman Atienza, will it make a big difference with the Customs Modernization Act to actually reduce the numbers?
Sabi nga namin, pati yung ating hinahanap na 24 billion to lower the income tax rates that we are paying for can come from the savings here.
Yeah.
We may save 200 billion, 300 billion from this law. Maybe we should lower already the taxes that we're paying, the individual taxpayer.
I want to ask you, what happens to confiscated goods? Like, my concern was, frankly, the sugar. Okay, that was estimated at 180 or 200 million. That's under Philip C's misdeclared goods. Under customs practices, what do you do with the sugar?
Well, kung wala naman siyang prohibition, no, to be sold into the market or brought into the market, it is sold at auction.
Back in the local market?
Yes, domestically sold, no, at auction. To generate revenue. Kasi dito sa atin, ang customs is primarily a revenue collection agency. Sa ibang bansa, hindi.
Yeah, no? I'm gonna ask you about that.
Sa atin, pag na-confiscate yun, we sell it at auction.
Yeah.
Kung may prohibition naman siya, it is destroyed.
Yes, but this is where I don't agree with, and maybe si Congressman Atienza can solve this, is, you also need to strike a balance with the market. You have local sugar producers. You have local rice producers. And then what happens is you catch something, it's smuggled. So alerted siya. And then ang nangyayari, it's sold back into the market, fine. You collect the right revenues, but then you cause an imbalance in terms of what the farmers will earn. That's what worries me.
Correct.
So you don't really teach smugglers a lesson. You don't.
Diyan nahihirapan ng customs, actually.
Yeah.
Take for example, isang experience namin. No? Nakahuli kami ng kadami-daming bigas. agricultural sector saying, wag nyo ibenta into the market.
That's right.
Sabing gano'n. Kasi
That's
nga,
right.
maapektuhan ang...
Oo.
Even yung i-donate mo eh.
Yeah.
Kunyari, we donate it to DSWD.
Yeah, no.
Meron din nagsasabing wag. Kasi may local suppliers ang DSWD.
Oo.
Where does DSWD usually get their rice?
Yeah.
Where they buy it.
Yeah.
So, meron ka rin naapektuhan doon na local. Meron ba nagsasabi, destroy it para may mga, para masaktan ang nag-import? Kasi probably they might be able to buy it back, diba sabi? Okay, Karen, you agree with destroying.
Yeah.
How would customs look and what would people say if we destroyed 428,000 sacks of rice?
Well, I think it's for me, it's an iron hand. It's a strict enforcement of the law.
Yun lang mga used clothing na nahuhuli namin dahil bawal palabasin sa local yan, ha? Sisirain namin. May mga nagsasabi,
Or
may
the other thing you do
nagkikriticize.
is you ship it back to port of origin because it's the same argument, I'll tell you, with hotels and restaurants.
Well, first,
Fast foods. No, I'll be honest.
let's jail the
Yes.
smuggler.
No,
That's
but
number
fast
one.
foods, for example,
Walang
people are
nahuli.
often asked, what do you do with extra burgers? Or let's say, without mentioning extra chicken that's produced, do you give it to the street kids or the poor? They don't. They literally, they destroy it. There's no choice. It's to keep the balance. And my question is, what is your suggestion? Because this is where corruption happens. You have Virgie Torres, the likes of her coming to customs. Nakaupo dun eh. And you're a customs official. You have sugar sitting there. So it's iniisip ng official, okay, it's in the news, wag ko muna galawin. Pag malamig na to, kailangan ng asukal anyway. Sige na nga, sayang rin to. Magagalit ang Panginoon. Sinayang na pagkain. So, that's what happens.
Okay, let's go to the sugar.
You end up paying.
Let's go to
What
the
do you
sugar.
do?
Your idea earlier was to return it back.
You return it back to port.
Okay. Number one, of course, it will be on at our expense, no? Returning it. Now, aside from that, sinong tatanggap doon sa kabila?
Okay.
For example,
fine.
yung sugar na yan,
Oo.
no? Binili na yan eh. So who will receive it on the other end?
No,
When
so
you
I'm
ship it
asking
back?
you nga, Rufi, give me a solution.
You know,
With
if,
smuggled
the-
goods,
the-
what do other countries do? Give me
They
best
also sell it at auction.
locally?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only way?
Well, again, it goes back to the other
It
other
depends on the
mandate.
economy, really.
Oh, what do you do?
Some countries destroy it, period.
They do.
Oh, of course. Number one
Here,
is
kasi it's,
they apprehend
revenue
and they arrest
generation
the
din.
smuggler. They punish them. Second, dito sa atin talaga walang nahuhuli, walang nagdurusa. Tapos yung smuggled goods na bebenta pa ng
that's what I do.
During my time,
Yeah.
consistently,
And mind you,
every other week, we filed
the-
smuggling cases.
Commissioner, this is a fact.
Yes, but what do
Maraming
you do with the goods?
maraming sumasama sa auction, yung original smuggler.
Yeah, yun nga.
Alam naman
Oo.
natin yun eh.
That's true.
Because the current system enables that. That's why we need to amend the law. Kaya nga sabi natin,
Yeah, no.
updating the law is the foundation of
No,
reform.
so I agree. For example nga, ito, let's say napasa na to, so it's stricter. You'll have numbers reducing. Pero my question still remains. Like let's say before, if it was shiploads of smuggled rice, ito isa na lang. With this, halimbawa nakalusot, my question still remains, what do you do with the
and the
smuggled
law, the
rice?
current law will answer that.
What is it?
It is to sell it at auction. That's what the law
that's the
provides.
hard-
Well,
What's
let's
your
be strict
standard
about
now?
the auction. That is
Yeah.
the auctioning process is under the complete control of customs. Pag yung goods ni smuggle, ang nakakuha na naman yung smuggler, yun ang nangyayari
Yeah,
ngayon.
but then how do you protect the local producers? That's my concern.
Yung decision ko yan,
Yeah.
I would rather bigyan mo yung industry, yung rice producers, sila ang mga mag-dispose ng, sila ang bumili, sila mag-dispose.
But it's a good
Sugar,
one.
bigay mo sa sugar.
Pwede yun. Bahala
Hindi
na
yung-
sila.
Hindi yung
Ano? Well, sila rin nagsasmuggle. No, I'm
Hindi,
trying to look
pag-
for a
kasi-
solution.
Unang question doon, kanino doon sa mga sugar or rice producers?
Hindi, meron,
Who among
may
them?
association naman yan.
How many
You
associations are
open up the
there?
process to them.
Yeah,
Hindi yung ang mag-auction, customs, ang mga magpa-participate,
Sila rin,
smugglers.
yeah.
O,
But again,
tayo eh.
I go back to those proposals are good, but I still go back to the law because that's what will make it happen. You see, one point ko dito, let us all be have heightened, or let us all have heightened awareness that there is an urgent need to amend the law if we want the problem of customs to be solved.
Oh, I agree. We're all
Kasi lahat
agreed.
yun address
No, but
na
we're all agreed on the
We're
law.
all agreed on that.
We're all
In fact,
agreeing
I
on the
have
law.
used your arguments to push for this law. Pero hindi naman helpless ang gobyerno. Yung tinatanong ni Karen, bakit kailangan ibalik dun sa
Well,
kamay ng smuggler?
it's a good moral debate, actually,
yes.
because it has to do with food. But my question is, when you catch pirated DVD,
It's
is
supposed to be
burned.
destroyed, yeah.
It's destroyed in front of media. It's burned. So
Because there's a law prohibiting it.
no, but
So you cannot
clearly,
really- you
this
cannot
is
really
also
dispose it
a
into the
moral
market.
issue
Yeah.
that it's food.
When
Because
you
if
say
it's-
it's a moral issue,
Yeah, because ang iniisip,
some would be disturbed, no?
that's
to
the
see
point.
food being destroyed.
Yes, it's a moral discussion at the end.
Yung destruction should be the last resort.
Okay.
Sabi ko nga,
If it's food.
The government should try its best to make sure that the smuggled agricultural products go to the mainstream of the trading.
Personally, I don't have a problem donating it to the needy. No? But then, going to the mandate of customs, there is continuous pressure. No? There's even a low pressure in customs to generate revenue.
Yeah.
There-
But do you believe
may target collection
that has
eh.
to be removed?
If we follow the ways of other customs administrations, yung revenue collection mandate sa kanila is either lower in priority, no, or wala talaga silang target that they have to comply with.
I want to ask you about that, Congressman. It's true. Even Bert Lina said that the mandate of customs includes kasi revenue collection, not in other countries.
There's an attrition law.
Does that answer that? That's a very good point. That's why they behave also in that way.
Hindi babago yan. Andiyan pa rin yan.
Kasi
Yung
sabi sa
function
Karen,
ngayon remains with customs. They have to raise revenues.
Karen, ito sa isang
it's
example,
there.
kung anong klaseng pressure ang binibigay ng target collection. Kunyari, if an official may impose na target sa kanya, ang pwede niyang gawin, harangin niya lahat ng darating na shipment. Sabi niya, tasan niyo yung ibabayad niyo.
Pwede rin yun.
Kunyari,
Pwede
naman
rin
siya,
yun.
in all his motivation, tasan lang ang collections, ipitin niya lahat yan. Sabi niya, pay up more. Paano yan? Ang world standard is transaction value method of valuation.
That's a very good point. I like
Diba?
this. It's a good
Pag
point.
hinayang ko yan, tasan mo ang
So
bayad.
who raises
Everything
revenues?
goes to government.
So if
Abot ko target ko.
if customs is not revenue generating in other countries, how do they do it?
Well, that's why, sabi sa'yo, ang
The former Prime
MEDPEG,
Minister Thaksin had a very radical solution. He removed customs. He totally organized. They organized the whole process.
Okay, that's one.
Actually, I also forwarded that idea. No? Kasi it's based on what Peru did. This is what
really?
Peru did. They abolished customs. They started from scratch.
And what?
Pero hindi nila tinanggal lang ang tao. Ni-reorganize nila. They re-engineered the organization. They established new laws and procedures. It took them about 6 to 7 years before they realized the full benefit. No? Pero kasi pagbasahin mo yung history ng problema ng Peru, if you read it, it's as if they're talking about the Philippines. Kasi pare-parehong problema ng customs worldwide.
Yeah.
So we get from best practices in other
Okay,
countries.
last words. So Congressman Lito Atienza, I think this clearly doesn't answer everything.
And before we get
What
flooded
will it answer?
and we drown with the problems, talagang yung
Yeah.
sinasabi ni Commissioner, nakakalunod dyan.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the main issue. The main
This is
issue
preventive
the
smuggling.
rampant smuggling through the container vans.
Yeah.
That goes in every day. 4,000
This is what
vans.
that answers.
Yes, 4,000 vans are coming in every day in all ports of the country. 2,000 vans get lost. We don't even know what their contents are. Probably drugs, probably the most serious contrabands. Ang problema ng bansa ngayon, dun sa container vans na pumapasok, this law will improve on that.
And then less human intervention with the automation.
Correct. At saka wala yung tariff classification.
Okay, under this law, when will customs be fully automated?
Well, if the seriousness
let's say it
of the
passes.
President's commitment is genuine,
It depends on how much budget Congress will give.
aabot yan. Pero
Every
kung-
year, annually, pupunta.
Pero kung totoo yung mga balita na nagre-raise pa sila ng campaign fund sa customs, hindi matutuloy yan.
Ano ba yun? May ganun pa.
That's the reality of
Okay.
it. I mean, you know,
May political ano
we
pa,
did our best.
LTO.
We did our best to craft a law. I belong to the opposition.
That's why.
And yet I participated because I believe that something has to be done with customs. Kung totoo si Presidente Aquino, magkakabunga ito. Kung hindi totoo, next administration na ito.
Pero very interesting what Ruffy said. Even the idea of part of the revenue collection goes to customs, wala dito yun.
Wala dyan.
Oo, talagang this is to prevent smuggling.
Well,
And automating.
Basically,
This is,
making the Philippines compliant.
Ito, ganun
Because
ka-basic.
we have international commitments that up to now, hindi natin na-fulfill because we haven't updated our law.
Yeah.
It will make us competitive because we will
Of
be at
course,
par
with
with other
ASEAN
countries,
community,
especially with ASEAN integration.
Yes, I agree.
Committed tayo dyan eh, di ba? Then of course, it will address the problem of graft and corruption, smuggling, and other problems. Kaya nga, ito yung fundamental reform na dapat gawin eh, the law. Kasi kahit magpalit tayo ng lahat ng tao, kung parehong sistema nandyan, ganun pa rin eh. Kasi may kalakaran eh. Sabi nga eh, commissioners come and go, but the kalakaran stays. Because the system
I
is
agree with that. It really depends on the leader.
Palitan mo lahat ng palitan mo
stays.
commissioner, deputy commissioners, all other officers. Yun ang control ng gobyerno. But the government does not have control over the behavior of the brokers, the importers.
No, but
Kumisan yan ang unang nagbibigay.
Unless the law is
the
there.
law
Kasi the
will be
system
there.
enables it.
But the leader has to lead. Kailangan manggaling sa administration, sa gobyerno, sa presidente. Ruffy cannot say that, but I am saying it.
Okay.
The president has to be decided, titigil yung smuggling.
Yeah
Titigil
nga,
yan.
if he signs this into law.
Correct.
But then didn't he certify this as urgent?
I called
did.
for its certification as urgent before. I don't know if it
He
was
did.
certified now.
Oh, I see. Now it is.
No, he did.
He did.
That's why it moved.
Yun eh. That's why
I
it
am
moved.
expecting results out of this.
Okay. All right. Ruffy, last words. So, are you somewhat
Well,
at least...
I'm happy that it's finally certified as urgent because during my time as commissioner, I
Yeah,
was
it
calling
was
for
a
it to be
struggle on your part.
certified,
I remember. I remember and interviewing you. You had tried to even make you had a one-window system.
A single window.
A single window. Yeah.
That's
that was
part of the
removed
automation.
when you.
That was part of the
But when you left office, that was removed.
Not naman removed,
Okay,
but parang yung drive to
Yeah.
implement it.
Oh, yun nga kasi nga nakalakaran stays. Okay, your point.
I don't know if it's a coincidence. Commissioner Biazon worked for this. He was replaced. Commissioner Sevilla worked for this. He was replaced. So I don't know whether to believe or not what we're hearing.
Okay, all right. Your last comments. Go on.
Yeah,
You want to answer
I'm just
that?
happy that it's going hopefully it will pass before the end of this administration so that the reform would be complete. Because that's really the foundation of reforming customs.
Yeah, that's it.
Updating the law.
All right. So at least yung pinaglaban mo noon, you're seeing fruits to your labor at some point.
Yeah.
Many years after, though. Okay. All right. Congressman Lito Atienza,
Thank you for the
for coming.
opportunity.
Thank you,
Former
Karen. Thank you.
Customs Chief Ruffy Biazon, thank you. Are you running for Congress, by the way?
No, I don't know.
You are, but you're running, of
For
course.
re-election.
For re-election,
Buhay
under
party
Buhay
list.
Party List.
Yes,
You're not yet sure.
Not yet sure.
You're not yet sure. Okay. All right. Let's get started. A replay of this interview is 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, everyone. Stay on ANC.